This is going to be a video on branding. This is Branding Explained. To start out this video, we're going to start with what is branding. Now, whether you're one person, a crew, a business, or an enterprise, you're going to need a brand. Allow me to explain further what a brand is. You may know little bits here and there, but I'm going to go deep dive in this video. Let's look at McDonald's as an example. When I say golden arches, you know exactly what that is, likely. If you're not a big McDonald's partaker, then you probably don't. But when someone usually says golden arches, like there's the golden arches, people normally will think of McDonald's due to that. And what they're referring to is actually the McDonald's M that you see everywhere in regards to McDonald's brand. Now, let's hypothetically say that McDonald's was created but never had a name. Let's say, for the sake of this example, that their name ended up being 3rd and Main as where their location started, and they just kept it that way from beginning to end. They never would have come up with the golden arches. They never would have brought the M in. They wouldn't have had that branding idea of putting their brand and the golden arches everywhere. That's done some significant things for their business. Some companies actually stay with the main and 3rd name, but that's usually referring to ma and pa businesses that never go full corporate. Now let's actually look at the branding definition.
Branding.
The first definition is the action of marking with a branding iron. Now, you can get a little creative with that definition and put that in as far as your company or branding style, but that's not quite what we're going for today. The second definition is the promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising and distinctive design. And that's the branding that we're talking about today. In my own terms, I'd say it's basically how you're able to advertise yourself using graphics. I'm going to go over why you might want to brand yourself. I'm going to cover a bit of an extreme metaphorical example as to why you might want to brand. Let's say you're walking around the city nude. I know that that's odd to think about, but just bear with me. So you have no clothes on, no expression, no hairdo. It's just you. The only place this is entirely acceptable is a nudist colony. Otherwise, you might end up getting arrested for public indecency or something similar. What makes us us is our expressive attire, our characteristics, how we handle ourselves. Now let's take that a step further. Let's think of yourself or your company as a character in a cartoon or TV show. That character is going to have preconceived characteristics that is portrayed in a certain way in that particular show. And all around you are other characters that have different standards. You'll need to declare and solidify your own standards and characteristics within this world of other brands. This is how you should think of your brand in the world of other brands. You need to build your characteristics and certain standards for your business so you know what you are going to be in this world of brands. Now we're going to talk about the when and how you should get branded. Once you have a firm grasp on your characteristics and standards for your brand, you should hire a designer like myself to help you with how you can express those characteristics and standards within your brand via graphics. They'll help you with the logo, branding, style guide, website, among other things, to fully deliver your brand exactly the way you plan it. The reason why this is important is because the moment someone looks at your brand, you're going to want them to think of a certain lifestyle, and that'll give you a relatable palette for other people to relate to, and that'll help you grow your brand. Marketing would be your next investment. You're going to want to hire a marketing specialist to make sure that you're being shown to your potential customers and actually being able to turn those potential customers into either regulars or paying clients. Basically, people that are willing to do business with you based off of your standards and how your brand is. Now, that's practically it when it comes to the fun stuff. We're going to get into the legal part of branding now. As you develop your brand, you're going to want to process your branding assets through the legal system. As far as your graphics go, you want to either make sure that if you're reusing any prior graphics that have been created, that you're modifying them to a high extent so they're no longer considered copyrighted and you're able to use them and recopyright them yourself. Or you could pay for the license of those particular items properly so that you can reuse them commercially. Or you can go the traditional method and just build your brand from the ground up. Once you are confident that all those boxes are checked, you're going to want to go ahead and get a business license. I recommend an LLC, limited liability license. Once you get that license, you're basically going to register all your graphics that you've made for your brand under that business, and you're going to license them as trademarks and copyright. So that way, you have full ownership of your brand. If anybody tries to reuse your brand for any reason at that point, you can lawfully, for lack of better terms, go after them and either get them to stop or have them pay, or both. Also, do keep in mind that when you do hire a designer, you're going to want to get an intellectual property transfer from them so that their intellectual property that they've utilized to build these graphics for you are eventually transferred to you and are no longer their intellectual property. So for example, if you went and got graphics from them, but they didn't transfer the intellectual property to you, and they didn't want you using their graphics anymore for any reason, then they could technically go after you for those graphics because they never transferred their intellectual property to you exclusively. And as you're listening to all this, I want to also put a disclaimer out there that I'm not a legal professional in any manner. These are just the things that I've learned over time, and I'm just portraying these from a friend to a friend. Aside from that, just make sure that you trademark your logo after you have been transferred the intellectual property so that you know that it's entirely yours. You don't want to be going to court over intellectual property. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to follow me on any socials. I have them in the description below. Hope you have a blessed day, and remember your heart. Peace.